Accountants have never just been about the numbers, at least not the great ones. Today, clients aren't only looking for compliance or tax help, they're looking for clarity, insights, and someone who understands their business. In an industry being reshaped by automation and AI, the real competitive edge isn't just technical expertise, it's communication. How well can you explain the why behind the numbers? How closely are you aligned with your clients' goals? And how do you stay relevant in a world that's changing fast? In this episode, we dive into why good communication might just be the most important skill for the modern accountant, and how it opens the door to deeper client relationships, better advisory work, and long-term success. And to do that, we've asked Stuart Grosvenor to join us. Stuart is a partner and director at Harrison, Beale & Owen, HB&O for short, in Coventry, England. He has extensive experience in accounting and in guiding business owners beyond the balance sheet. Without further ado, let's get into the podcast episode. Thanks so much for joining us, Stuart.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Maybe we can start by you telling us something that might surprise listeners about yourself, since we've had the sort of formal introduction to who you are.
Wow, I've had to think about this because there are a couple of things that could really surprise listeners, and I'm going to go with the one that's kind of allowed, I suppose. I used to be a footballer. I played non-league football for a long time, and up until maybe, I'm going to say it was 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago now, I was a non-league football manager. So I'd held a position as first team manager of a football team locally in Birmingham for about 8 years. So yeah, football is my passion, and I lived it for a little while. So it was good fun.
Oh, that's so cool. I would not have expected that was your surprising fact. So yeah, mission accomplished. Very nice.
Thank you.
All right, I guess we'll go back to our topic of the day. In the introduction, I kind of spoke about the importance of communication in accounting. Do you agree that communication is an important skill for accountants to have? And maybe has your view of this changed over time?
My view has never changed. It always has been, in my opinion. Communication is paramount. I think you need to gain the trust of your clients. I think they need to get to understand who you are. You need to get to understand who they are. So as that you're able to advise them and you're able to be their trusted advisor. And if you don't communicate with them, you're never going to get to that point. So I've always been a believer in communication. It's one thing I really focus on with clients, with the team, with my network. It's vital. And it's a skill set that you really need to work on. Totally.
Yeah, and I think it's something often sort of from the outside looking in, when I heard about accountants before working in accounting software, I never really associated communication as a particular skill with accountants. I would always think, oh, it's like you should be good at maths and you should have a kind of logical mindset. That never really stood out as such an important aspect of the accountant's role.
Yeah, I think you have to tailor your communication technique and language even to your client, because you have different clients from all different walks of life and all different understandings as well. You might have to break down what you're trying to tell them into real, sometimes basic terms, but even some of your clients will fully understand what you're talking about, a jargon that you're using. So communication is definitely one that you really need to understand your client and how they react to you, how they communicate back with you. It's a real skill that us as humans, we all need to communicate with friends, with family, with whoever, and it's a skill set that we need just in everyday life.
No, definitely. I think it's very important, and being able to speak the same language as your clients. You know, you were saying that clients from different walks of lives, they may have different ways of talking about the same things, but finding the language that is accessible to them is really important.
Totally. Yeah, 100% it is, because sometimes you need your message to be heard and you need what you're delivering to them to be listened to. If you're not doing that in a way that allows them to, let's say, understand or even digest, then you're not going to be heard as the accountant, and then they're not going to follow through with the things that you're telling them or asking them to do. So it is completely important, and audience and understanding your audience is what it's all about.
Well, definitely. So if we're thinking about offering value-added services and deepening your client relationships, in your experience, what kind of insights do clients value beyond just the numbers?
I think numbers are always part of the conversation. Clearly, that's what we do for them. That's why they engage with us. So the delivery of numbers is really the conversation starter. Owner managed businesses where we operate, we look after a lot of SMEs, and they're all predominantly owner managed. And everyone has an ego, and everyone wants to understand what their competitors are doing. So we're finding benchmarking is something that we're really interested in at the moment. We're kind of exploring AI to help us deliver benchmarking information, so as our clients really understand what their competitors are doing, and actually if what they're doing is appropriate and it's right, and by benchmarking we can see if there are efficiencies or that can be gained, or there are things that could be improved upon. Benchmarking is really, really cool. As I say, we're delving into AI. We're looking into the governance element of that first and foremost. So we're remaining safe. We're doing things properly, and the results that we see from it are reliable. And our clients can rely on that then, and help them to manage their business. So I'd say benchmarking is something that really gets clients thinking and really gets them excited a little bit. If you can tell them that they're doing things better than their competition, then yeah, they love it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think that contextual element is very important, actually seeing how your competitors are doing, where there are places that you're doing better than them, or other places where you're maybe underperforming, and that gives you something to think about, like, how can I improve in that area?
Yeah, totally. It allows us then to focus on areas where we can see improvement, and actually the benchmarking tells us that improvement can be made. Having a focus on an area where potentially the client's achieving the optimum and achieving the most that they can achieve, it could be an area of wasted effort. Whereas if it's clear to see that their competition is doing things maybe better than what they are, then we can see why and understand why, and then help them drive their numbers in the way.
And then also they have a better sense of where they should be focusing their attention, maybe not on that other area where they're really dominating, but this area that maybe they haven't really thought about so much.
Yeah, totally, yes.
And coming back to communication then, how do you see communication opening the door for more strategic or advisory work?
We have constant communication with our clients, and I think that's really important. I think we have service lines where it drives that constant communication. So my team, what we term our virtual finance office, we're engaging with clients in a lot of instances on a daily basis. So that communication then is frequent, and it allows us to understand the client at all times, which clearly helps build a relationship and relaxes the client somewhat in their communication back to you. So So that constant interaction and that constant communication and then constant understanding allows us to spot opportunities and allows then the wider team to be brought in to support the client. I think internally we're very understanding of the lanes that each area of our team sits. And that then allows us to then think of the other areas of the business where we can provide the optimum service to our clients. So we're constantly engaging with the team and helping the team potentially spot these opportunities. And back to the point on AI, we're again trying to use AI to delve into the numbers to then pull information out that then may facilitate an opportunity for the wider team. We're doing that for external purposes as well as internal purposes. So we're looking at ways of working with partnerships to provide that optimum service, but equally that means internally and bringing the wider team into support our clients.
Oh, sounds really good. I think there are a couple of things maybe to pick up on there. The first one is this idea of ongoing communication with your clients. I think there is this old-fashioned idea that some people still have that you see your accountant maybe annually to sort out your taxes. Yeah, make sure your books are in order. But really, if you want to get the most value out of the relationship as a small business owner or as a client, it helps to have constant communication. And so you're not just meeting once a year, you're meeting, maybe quarterly, monthly, however often suits your needs.
We're lean on our expertise is the message we like to, express to our clients. Lean on us, lean on our expertise. You have an engineering business because you're an engineer, not an accountant. And that's important for business owners to recognize that we're here to support them, not just keep them compliant from a statutory point of view. We have a skill set that they can utilize to help them kind of manage their business through numbers. And numbers tell a real story of where the business is and where it's going. And, we're not here to mention SIFT, but we use SIFT as the powerful platform to share that with clients. So to place that in front of them as an interactive dashboard and allowing them to delve into the numbers without us having to go into the real detail and then come to the real element of advisory work. So yeah, there's communication is big, and having the right tools to help you communicate is as important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that having the right tools in place can actually help you communicate those numbers more clearly. Like you were saying with dashboards, for me as quite a visual person, I find it much easier to understand numbers when I see them visually than when I see them, say, in an Excel sheet.
Yeah, totally. And again, SIFT is very interactive for our clients. If we're presenting and providing them their dashboard before we meet, they've potentially interrogated their numbers because the dashboard is there and allows them to delve deeper in to a number and then not need to ask us, what's in my advertising cost here? And that's a little high this month. They can answer all of that themselves, and it gives us then the time to be advisors and to really help them with their business, and not just the questions that need not be asked and actually have then no relevance in the advisory stuff that we'd like to do with them.
Yeah, makes sense. I think maybe on that note, we can hear briefly a bit about SIFT for people who don't know what we do. This podcast is brought to you by SIFT Analytics. SIFT Analytics is an interactive and collaborative financial reporting tool that helps you generate beautiful reports, forecasts, and consolidations in just a few clicks. SIFT helps you increase revenue, reduce costs, save time, and look professional. It is also enhanced by AI-powered insights that help you go from data to decisions in no time. Want to find out more? Visit our website at siftanalytics.com to start a 14-day free trial today. I was wondering, Stuart, if you can think of a time where strong communication that you had built up with a client helped you to identify a need that they had that they didn't even know they had.
I've struggled with this because it's how we operate, it's how we work. So to come up with a standout example is difficult because it's what we do all the time. We do delve and we do look deep into the numbers, and we do advise our clients, and we do hold that relationship. So we are all about an optimum service. And that certainly doesn't mean a VFO person advising around tax. That means a VFO person understanding there's a need for our client to talk to one of our tax people. And that happens all of the time on a daily basis. That spots opportunities when clients certainly won't feel that or understand that an opportunity is there. Again, likewise with partners, working with partners, helping clients save money on instances with other applications that we partner with. There's opportunity there that we can save on energy costs, or we can save on an appropriate lender they're looking for. We can help in a lot of ways, and that happens every day. And sometimes you're right, the client might not think that we can help, but again, by holding that relationship and by holding the conversations that we hold with clients, we kind of hope that all our clients understand that we are there to be able to provide that support. And I guess I'm gonna be a little bit biased, but I'm sure all our clients do believe that.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. And I think that's, again, driving home that message to business owners. Like, you are very good at what you do in your business, whether you're a doctor or you're in construction, whatever it is you do, that is your specialty. That's what you know about. In terms of, the accounting, your cash flow management, and like you were saying, how much you're spending on certain suppliers, you might not always be able to notice areas where you could be saving, areas where there are opportunities that you could seize. And that's really where your accountant can come in to advise you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally.
And then returning to some of the tech that you use, and you mentioned AI a bit earlier. AI seems to be taking over a lot of traditional accounting tasks today. How important do you think it is that accountants shift their focus towards better communication and interpretation in light of everything that AI is now doing?
Oh, we're in the midst of our AI discovery journey, I suppose. And we kind of, in the beginning, we were pretty excited about all the opportunities and everything that AI could do for us, and how we could help it streamline our business, and how we could help it with the advice, the greater advice we could give our clients. Understanding AI is much bigger than that. It's much deeper than that. And we're currently going through a governance program. So as we're deploying AI appropriately across the business, and we're transparent with our use, I think that is very, very important. It's equally important that there's a human in the loop, that AI isn't going to replace ourselves as humans. We certainly need AI to help us and support us, but we need to deliver, we need to review, we need to still be making the key decisions. But we're not going to run away from AI. It's definitely here to stay. It's definitely changing the world. We've got to be sure that, we're one of the first to do it. Hence why we're going through the program we're going through now. But we're doing it properly as well. And we're not putting ourselves and our clients at risk. There's a big element of risk to AI, and we're certainly addressing that right now. And we're very keen to be transparent, and we're very keen to again, to coin a phrase, keep the human in the loop.
Yeah, I think that's really critical. A lot of people jumped on the AI bandwagon without thinking about the risks that are involved, without thinking about the need to review whatever the AI engine is telling them. So I think being able to seize that opportunity, but also make sure that you are being as careful as you can be. You're not sharing, obviously, confidential data. And you're reviewing everything and keeping that human element. I really don't think that AI is going to be replacing the human element, that communication again, that relationship that you have with your clients.
We're certainly not intending for AI to replace anyone. We're intending for AI to help us and support us. And again, it's back to the optimum service that we're here to provide to our clients. It's a tool to help us, not to replace us totally.
Yeah, absolutely. And returning to the client element in communication, how do you make sure that you keep your clients' business goals front and center in the work that you do?
I've mentioned this quite a little already. Communication. It's back to communication. Understanding your client all the time. You know, an annual conversation isn't enough for you to understand your client, and it isn't enough for you to understand the changes in your client's environment. And again, something I've mentioned previously is benchmarking. Understanding your client and them as individuals and their aspirations, their goals, their exit timescales, is really key to be able to provide the right service to them. We've recently launched our transactional tax team, and that focus is, let's say we have a business that intends to exit, or the owners intend to exit the business in 5 years' time. The tax planning in that should begin now. It shouldn't begin in 5 years' time when it's like, right, I'm finishing now. It should be a process where you understand the client, you understand what's going on now, you understand what's going on tomorrow, you understand what's going on next year. So communication, benchmarking, so you understand what they can achieve and what they can't achieve, or what is going on in the marketplace. There are vital elements in really understanding the client, so as you can provide everything that the client needs.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that also having that personal relationship, understanding their goals, is critical in all of that.
It is. Clients are, in my case, a lot of my clients are friends. So you really have to understand them at that level almost to really get to understand them and where they're at in life. Not just in business, but where they're at in life. And then you can really support them, because you can kind of help them in a direction that they may not have seen previously. And so really getting to know them as people is really where we work, where I work, where our team strives to work with all our clients. So.
Oh, that's great. I'm wondering, over the years that you've been working with these clients, have you seen their expectations of you or the service that you provide them begin to change?
Again, I get it's a difficult one to answer, because we've always worked in this way of wanting to be close to our clients, and we've provided the VFO service now for some time, and I've been in the profession a long time, and I've been fortunate to work in other practices where their approach to work and their approach to accountancy has been very similar to how I work now at HB&O, and I've brought that experience to me here, and really being so close to the clients and working with them on a daily basis. They're running the same business that we are, like, it's just in a different industry. So really understanding them through communication. Things don't change, things are still the same. We're still the same people. We may change in time. We may get older. I've just hit 50. I've got quite a bit older. So, it's just being close to them all the time. And that through the decades has probably changed in the way technology has changed how we deliver it. Gone are the days when, you'd receive a paper bag with lots of receipts in and lots of bank statements, and then you'd manually put all of the record together. The collation of information, the ability to connect bank accounts, and then the ease of which all of that can be controlled, and not all kept anymore. It's a controlled process. That has massively changed. And what it has created is real-time information, really. And, I can go back to when I started in the profession, and a business wouldn't really understand how they'd got on until they've provided us with the records for the year that's probably 6 months previous. And then we'll take a few weeks to get the records together, and then we present to the owner that they've made a profit, or they've made a loss, or what the tax consequence of that. And that only became apparent to them sometime after the year end. Now, technology and real-time information, and the client's expectation, then I think back to the question, the client's expectation that they can get this and they can receive this.
Yeah.
And it's really important for them to get it is key. That opens the door to the stuff that we like to do, the advisory bit, and the ability to help them make money, save money, and be more efficient. That's kind of our motto. So doing all of that is what we enjoy doing with clients.
Yeah, I think the big thing that's changed there, thanks to technology, is the time element, that real-time data that you were speaking about. And it's kind of like, if you think of the advent of things like Amazon, where you get sort of next day or even same day delivery, I think clients across various industries now have more of an expectation of, I want to see this thing now, whether that be their delivery or they want to see insights to how their business is doing. There's much more of a desire to see that now, to see it in real time.
Well, the truth is they can, and it's important for us to deliver that. And if their competitor next door, we're talking about benchmarking. Here's a benchmark right now. If their competitor next door is getting real time information, they're managing their business in a way that you're not, if you're not getting real time information. So it's expectation is there because it can be delivered.
If you were to give advice to accountants who are technically excellent, but they struggle with translating value to their clients, what would you tell them?
I think you just really need to get to know your clients, get to know them on a personal level, get to know who they are and what drives them. Treat them as friends. And that way you become more comfortable then in the conversations that you have with them, and you become more comfortable in the delivery of that. You take an element more of ownership around it as well, because, you like them and you want to help them. And, if it's good news, you really enjoy telling them. But if it's bad news, you feel compelled to tell them because, you want to help them. You want to be that support to them. So my advice would be just be yourself. just get to know your clients and develop that relationship. Be their friend. It's more enjoyable that way, right?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Oh, I'm going to end our podcast with a little tradition we've started now, which is some rapid fire questions for you. So first thing that pops into your head for these. The first one is, what's one piece of software besides Sift that you can't live without?
Right now, if I don't think of the core accounting function and I go to Xero, we've got a great relationship with Xero. I would probably say Xenon. Xenon is an audit tool that allows us to stay on top of what we do, basically. It allows us to scope work properly. It allows us we price based on number of transactions. So it gives us a dashboard as to the number of transactions that we're processing for clients and whatever. So, scope creep's a big thing, clearly in the offering of a VFO service. So the timely, interception of understanding the level of work that you're doing is important and is time consuming. And Xenon takes away that pain point of reviewing it for us. It does it, alerts us. So yeah, it's improved our efficiencies, within our VFO function, no end. So yeah, Xenon for me.
Yeah, fantastic. What's the best book you've read recently?
Difficult one to answer. I don't read books.
Podcast you've listened to?
Podcasts. Yeah. I listen to podcasts. It's the thing I do in the car. When I need to want to switch off, I put podcast on. I'm a big football nut. So football I'll listen to all kinds of football podcasts and whatever. I throw the occasional business one on now and again. But yeah, I learned a lot of management styles and ability to do what I do today, from being in the dressing room as a footballer and as a football manager, and things that we deal with in the boardroom or in business, throughout the year. I probably dealt with 2 or 3 times in a week as a football manager. So I think we can all learn an awful lot from sport. So I still listen to a lot of ex-players, a lot of current players, and I'm about to probably start a podcast myself. So I'm excited by that. So I'll keep you updated with all of that.
And definitely let me know if you start a podcast.
I will.
I think it's great. I always think that people underestimate how many of your skills you can transfer into the workplace from very unexpected or unconventional places.
Totally. Yeah. Managing a bunch of 22, 23 men is difficult at times. And I think it's far easier when you come back into the workplace.
That makes a lot of sense. I think especially in the world of football.
Yeah, totally.
Actually, there are a lot of egos.
Yeah, including the manager.
What's the most valuable lesson that you've learned about building a business?
Do it with people you like. I think that's really important. You've got to get on with your business partners. You've got to get on with the people that work with you. You've got to enjoy their company. You've got to have the same goals or very similar goals. You've got to have the same outlook on life, the same aspirations, potentially. You've got to like them. If you don't like your business partner, then it's a long journey. I'm really fortunate, as a team and as a group of partners and directors here at HB&O. We all get on really, really well. We share same ethics. We've got the same drive. We've got the same, visions. And I think that's really important. And we like each other most of the time. So
yeah, I think that helps a lot. Really, when you think about a business, the most important resource is the people. And yeah, you want to get along well with the people that you're working with every day.
Yeah, totally.
And then lastly, if there's just one thing that listeners take away from today's podcast episode, what would you want that to be?
I think your focus should be on your relationship with your client. I think you get that right. You get a lot of everything you should get right. You're not, you want to deliver the best for the people that you get on with. You know, you want to deliver the right results. You want to, so that drives you in an ulterior way. You've got to hold the right relationship to be able to get those messages across. And again, back to enjoying doing what you do. You've got to enjoy your clients. You've got to enjoy the people you work with. And then that gives, from a personal perspective, you give your all to that. You give everything. So yeah, I'd focus on relationship. You know, I really enjoy the people that I work with. The network that I have is great. I can ask for a better network of people I refer with and to, and the whole team and the clients. You know, I'd hold most of my clients as friends, all of them probably. And that comes down to relationship. So I would say relationship. Yeah.
Awesome. I think that this is really the future of accounting. As AI and all this other tech is out there to help, you really are able to focus in on your clients, focus on building that relationship, becoming a trusted advisor, and also just enjoying the work you do because you are helping people whose success you really care about.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Relationship is key.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today, Stuart. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, I loved it.
Learned a lot.
Loved it. Yeah, really good. And I'm be looking out for it, and I'm looking out for all the other episodes as well. So
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in today.